What's up guys, it's Azem here, coming at you live after a month of not uploading. So happy late Thanksgiving guys, and for those of you who don't celebrate Thanksgiving, happy birthday I guess, I don't know. So anyway, there's a lot of stuff going on right now in the online world, but one thing I want to talk about, or the one person I want to talk about, is Pokimane, because once again, in Pokimane fashion, she is in more drama. She got caught lying once again, bro. Come on, that's strike 2 now. First, it was claiming people's videos for no reason, and now you got caught lying about one of your accusations that you made a couple months back. So the accusation was about a streamer called Fedmeister. So Fedmeister, he was a part of this streaming company or group, whatever, called Offline TV, which is owned and run by Pokimane. And I don't know if you guys remember all those claims that were being made on Twitch earlier this year about sexual accusations. I mean, there were a lot, and a lot of people were being falsely accused, and Fedmeister happened to be one of those accusations. So Fedmeister went and did a mistake. He tried to make a move on this streamer called Yvonne, and because of that, he was accused of sexual harassment. That's the short version. So later, Pokimane went on stream to explain the situation, and she went on to say things about Fed like he wanted Yvonne fired and he would constantly badmouth Yvonne and Lily, which a lot of people believed because Fedmeister sort of took the blame on this and didn't really share his side of the story. And we wouldn't have known about any of this, but thanks to a leak of an apology statement by Fedmeister titled The Truth, he goes on to explain his side of the events and his relationship with Pokimane that goes in further detail. I mean, the document was a whole 25 pages long, man. The document had a whole bunch of screenshots that obviously proved his point, and it clearly shows that it's Pokimane that he's talking to in these messages. And I would love to show you guys all this, but the whole document was sadly deleted. I've only seen bits and pieces of the document, but I went to all corners of the internet to be able to tell you guys what happened between Fedmeister and Pokimane. So in the document, Fedmeister says that him and Poki were really close and that they grew closer together in a trip that they took to Taiwan, where he says that they got to know each other on a deeper level. And after the trip, he felt like the relationship between them could actually go somewhere. And you know, they started to flirt in texts, and if you've seen those texts, then you know it looks like they're 12 or something, cause those texts are extremely cringy. It made me feel embarrassed just by reading them. I didn't even write them, I was reading them. And you know, that's weird, but moving on, it turns out they were having pretty frequent sleepovers, and at the time they were in the same house and they were literally one room away from each other. So I'm pretty sure some people started questioning it, or at least found it a little off, but who knows if they ever said anything. And you know, as a guy, if you're doing all this with a girl, texting, having sleepovers, then obviously you're gonna think it's gonna be heading somewhere, in a romantic way. So you know, the man Fedmeister shot his shot. But Pokimane didn't want that, so the man Fedmeister was basically friend-zoned. And her reason for shutting him down had something to do with both of them owning the company, and she didn't want to have problems or something like that. So moving on from that, there was this party and Fedmeister and some guy referred to as Steve were teamed up playing beer pong together and were just winning non-stop. And eventually Steve asks if he has a shot with Pokimane, and for whatever reason, Fedmeister just tells him to go for it, even though he still likes her a lot. So Steve shoots his shot, and he's over at the house a lot, and apparently Fedmeister could hear a lot of what was going on in the other room. And remember, his room is literally right next to hers, so the man's getting all of it. So it pretty much messes him up, and he goes out and hangs out with some friends, and apparently Pokimane didn't like that because she wasn't there or something, so she wanted to send Fedmeister a message by letting guys come over and letting Fedmeister know there was nothing between them. I mean, come on man, is it that serious that you had to hurt the man like that? He was already hurting before you sent the message. Also in the document, he talks about the situation that happened with Yvonne, where in her stream, Pokimane claimed that Fedmeister wanted Yvonne fired after the incident that happened, to which Fedmeister claims he never wanted her fired and that she was the one that actually wanted Yvonne fired. That Pokimane would say stuff like her being lazy and not being creative, that she thought she was only doing the bare minimum, and he actually pulled up some receipts to back him up. So not only did he expose her as a liar, but he also exposed her as being manipulative, which a lot of her tier 3 subs will not like, but Pokimane ended up coming up with a response of her own document of 11 pages. Like, we've done everything at this point. We went from diss tracks and now we're doing college essays. So the first claim she addresses is the claim that she wanted Yvonne fired, which she doesn't entirely deny in the document, but she does say that Fedmeister would actually complain about her because she wouldn't want to do her work, and this was apparently after the situation between Yvonne and Fed. So understandably, she didn't want to be around him, and she claimed that she herself didn't know what had happened until much later, and that she was frustrated when she made her initial statement about the Yvonne incident because according to her, she had just found out. She also claimed that some of the text messages that were flirty were taken out of context by Fed and made it seem like something else was going on. And the example she picks is when they're talking about which hotel room to go to, which if you read the text, you will understand how it can seem like it was gonna lead to something else, but she claims that it was just her trying to give Fed space to be able to do whatever he wants, and she also has receipts to back up her statements. So at this point, it seems like they both want Yvonne gone, and it's clear they're both in the wrong, but I don't know, man. Something about when she sent a message just feels very wrong. Like, if you're just leading the guy on, then you do that to him. That's just super low. And if you actually read the text messages about the hotel room thing, that doesn't look like a girl trying to give someone space. Those texts have a different kind of energy to them. But anyway, Fed actually responded to Pokimane's response, which is another 12-page document, which makes it official. Online drama will now be reviewed by college professors. So Fedmeister went on to explain that his original document was meant to be therapeutic for him and was never meant to actually be seen by the public. And he said that one of his viewers went behind his back and posted it. After that, he goes on to explain that Pokimane had once again left out information in her response. Like the Yvonne situation, he said that he never denies wanting to get rid of Yvonne, but for him it was more of a last resort thing if they couldn't come to an agreement. And it's pretty obvious that Pokimane was complaining about Yvonne as well. Another thing he addressed was the claim that she always made it clear that she was never trying to lead him on. But Fed on his response provides multiple instances of her being flirty with him. At least that's the way it seems. And then the situation in the hotel that Pokimane mentioned about going to the same hotel room and being able to give Fed space so he could be with any girl he chose. But those texts looked like she was leading him on, and he does say that they did end up sleeping on the same bed, but that the two other girls came along with Pokimane to his room. He says he just wants to move on from the situation and to actually work on himself to become a better person. So what do I think of this? That I was right. I've always been right about Pokimane. She's psychotic, man. It's obvious she's not so innocent as she likes to appear to be. She's just a huge hypocrite, and she tried to portray Fed in such a bad light. And everyone believed it, but that was kinda Fedmeister's fault. If he had released this then, he probably wouldn't have been executed online like he was. And I hope he can actually move on from this and come back a better person. I don't think what he did was that bad since he recognized his mistake. I mean, yeah, sure, it was wrong, but it wasn't as wrong as people made it out to be. So good luck to him, and Pokimane, she needs to take another break and maybe not come back this time. I don't know, I wouldn't miss her. Maybe her tier 3 subs would. But you guys should come back for the next video and hit that subscribe button. Peace.